Wow, what a beautiful spring day. Alright, since I really don't feel like going outside today because of this weather that we've been having randomly in Boston in April, I'm going to be working on Ciri's belt. I don't really have the money or skills for metal casting, which would be the most ideal way to make the belt, but I have found some really cool tutorials talking about how to make craft foam look like metal for armor. And if you do cosplay, you've probably run into that concept before. I will link down below the tutorial that I'm using, but basically the steps are make a stencil of your pieces, cut the pieces out of foam. If necessary, if your pieces aren't going to be flat, you have to apply heat to them, either with a flame or a blow dryer or something, and shape them. And then you have to seal the foam so that it won't just like drink up paint with a 50-50 mix of Elmer's glue and water. And that is super time consuming because you have to do like, I think 6 or 7 coats before you can paint it. And you have to let them dry for like a whole day in between. So I'm just gonna get those started now so that way I have plenty of time and I'm not gonna like run into having to paint them the day before PAX or something ridiculous like that. But luckily the steps aren't actually very time consuming, just that the process itself takes forever. So while I'm waiting for the layers to dry, I'll be doing a lot of the other parts of the costumes, and then maybe hopefully painting them will be the last step of both of my costumes, is painting this stuff. Because I am using the same technique for a couple of the pieces of my Darkest Dungeon cosplay, so that'll be interesting. Let's see how it comes out. I think it'll be good. Alright, so I made stencils for all of the pieces. I ended up deciding on the dimensions based on some Ciri belts that I found pre-made on Etsy and eBay. I figured that each one of the small pieces should be 2¼ inches long and tall. They're squares, so and then I just cut off the corners to make it look approximately what her belt looks like. My dog just farted. And then we have the centerpiece, which is a little bit bigger, so I made that 2.75 inches, and the corners are a little bit bigger as well. So the next step will be cutting all of these out, and then in order to add structure and make these craft foam pieces a little bit more sturdy, you're supposed to glue fabric to the back of them. So you can see over here, I have some things in the works. This is going to be the belt buckle piece on my Hellion dress for my Darkest Dungeon cosplay. As soon as the glue is done drying on those, I'm going to cut off the excess fabric. And then over here you can see I have the pieces of my hatchet for the Darkest Dungeon cosplay, and those are already trimmed. All the excess fabric is already removed. I'll talk more about those pieces in my videos about that specific cosplay. And then I realized I forgot to tell you guys exactly how I'm going to make this into a belt. So I'm actually just going to not assemble it into a belt, but make these pieces slidable onto a belt. So I have these little strips down here. They're 1 inch wide and 2 3/4 inches long, and I'm going to attach them to the back of each one of these pieces, slightly raised, so I'm going to have to use some heat to shape them that way. And that way they can be slid over a 1 inch wide belt. And I have this stretchy belt that I got on Amazon. It was like the cheapest waist belt that I could find, and since it's stretchy, it'll fit right to my waist over my corset and everything. And then I'll just slide the pieces right on it when I go to wear it. Alright, so all the pieces are glued to the fabric. Once that dries, I'm going to cut them all out, and then just in case you can see the back of the pieces at all while they're on the belt, I'm going to give them a quick coat of silver acrylic paint So it's not gonna look as like crazy good as the front of the pieces, but I just don't want it to look like white fabric, if you can see the back at all. I'm also gonna do that to those little guys over there, or basically just like this back piece, because that's the only piece you'll be able to see the back of. I'll give that a quick coat of silver acrylic paint. And then the next step for these guys will be adding the like decorative designs on the front and then sealing them with glue like I explained before. So it's probably going to be about a week before I can give you guys another update on the belt, but I figured I'd explain the process and show you where I'm at right now. So for the decorating the pieces, basically, if you're going to be doing this at home, this is how you do it. I'll also show you guys once I do it. But anything that's indented into the foam, you're going to want to draw the design with a ballpoint pen and press kind of hard and then go over it a few times. You really want the groove to be deep, because once you add all the sealant and the paint and everything, it's going to fill up the groove a little bit, so you do want it to be like pretty distinct. And then anything that's going to be raised, you just use like that 3D puffy paint that kids decorate t-shirts with. So yeah, I'll have a combo of those two, plus I ordered some flat back like craft gems. I'm still waiting for those to come in the mail, but I can't add them to the pieces until they're all completely painted anyway. But I do kind of want to have them on me so I can do the designs around the gems and make sure that everything is the right size. So hopefully those come in the mail soon. I might do an update video once the designs are done, or I might just wait until it's completely painted and they're like ready to be assembled. I don't know. We'll see. Either way, it is probably going to be about a week before you guys see anything more of the belt, so I'll be posting stuff about the other parts of the costume as well as my Darkest Dungeon costume in the meantime, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!